Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, dog fans. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Dog Call. I'm your host, Amondo Black. Well, it looks like the playoff committee, when it comes to Georgia, they value our strength of record and, deservedly so. We put in work to get to where we are right now today. But there are two types of people in this. Sorry about that. There are two types of people in this world. Listen to me real good. Two types of people in this world. You have those people that are in denial, that avoid the truth, because the truth can kind of hurt, and the truth can kind of destroy your morale a little bit. Doesn't mean the truth is the truth. It shouldn't destroy your morale. But there are some people that run away from the truth because they're in denial. Then you also have those people that can see BS coming a mile away. And I'm one of those people. I can see the BS coming a mile away because I see what the committee is trying to do. They're hell bent on putting Notre Dame in there. They are determined to put Notre Dame in the college football playoffs by all means necessary, at the expense of a deserving SEC team. That could be Vanderbilt. That could be Georgia. That could be Texas or Oklahoma. Because in my opinion, I feel like a 3-loss Oklahoma or 3-loss Texas deserves to get in there. I definitely feel like a 2-loss Vanderbilt team deserves to get in there. And I definitely feel like a 2-loss Georgia team deserves to get in there. But this committee don't see it like that. They don't see it like that. To this committee, it's all about cash and brands. It's not about the best teams. It's about the most deserving teams. And I've been saying it all year long. You do not want a situation where it comes down to a decision between a 10-2 Georgia team and a 10-2 Notre Dame team, which could very well happen if Georgia loses on Saturday night. That's what we're going to talk about today, the elephant in the room, because I see a lot of other dog casters are talking about the benefits of a Georgia win, how Georgia can benefit off a win Saturday, but none of them are discussing the alternative. None of them are addressing the elephant in the room, no pun intended, on what would happen. Because what would be a disaster on Saturday night is if Bama loses to Oklahoma, and then later on that night, my Georgia Bulldogs lose to the Texas Longhorns. Worst case scenario, a nightmare scenario for our Georgia Bulldogs. So that's what we're going to discuss next. Everyone get your popcorn ready. I'm Amondo Black, and this is the Dog Call.
Where the barking never stops, the dog don't stand strong. on Florida, bring on Bama, and bring on Texas too. We stay true, the Dogs stay true. We're the one with a few. Go Dogs, I'm playing on Florida. Bring on Bama and bring on Texas.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Dog Call. I'm your host, Amondo Black. Salute. Got the sheriff in the house. Salute to you, ma'am. Salute. I know you're not a sports fan, but hey, hey, we all can learn some sports, because I'm about to give a little class on what this committee is doing. So, as all of you saw last night at 7 p.m., approximately 7 p.m., the committee gave their rankings for week 12, and these were the rankings. By the way, I'm live. This is live. This is the Dog Call Live. I promise you all that I would be doing these live. Once we get into playoff mode, we are in playoff mode. As you can see right there, Ohio State is still at number 1. Indiana holds on to number 2. And the thing is, and I agree with that, even though Penn State has struggled, there's still athletes on that side of the ball. There's still athletes over there at Penn State. So they've been going through some things, had a coaching change. They fired their head coach, but they're still Penn State. They are still Penn State. There's still talent over there. And every national championship run is going to have a close call. Every team that went on a national championship run is going to run into those type of games. Ohio State ran into that type of game with Nebraska last year. Remember? The goal line stand up in Columbus. Ohio State got by. They got by. They held on. They had a goal line stand against Nebraska, and they went on to win that game. Texas A&M holds at number 3. Bama holds at number 4. Georgia holds at number 5. What this committee is doing, basically, it's like a wait and see with Bama. Bama has not really been impressive the last couple of weeks. Georgia is improving, but Georgia, it is what it is. Georgia has not really played a full 4 quarters before Starkville Saturday. Georgia had not played a full 4 quarters. Now you have a game under Georgia's belt where they played a full 4 quarters, and they look like a totally different team. They look like a very, very dangerous team. And that Mississippi State team is, they're not a cupcake. They have not been dominated like that all season. They're the type of team that come to play and they come to fight. Shapen is legit. He's on Mel Kiper's board. The Thompson kid, the wide receiver Thompson, he's projected to go in the late first round or the early second round, as he's an elite receiver. Mississippi State has some elite players in that secondary, and Garner Stockton carved them up all day. This Georgia Bulldogs football team, the offense, when it's clicking on all cylinders, they are hard to stop. With that being said, we have to address the elephant in the room. This Texas defense is probably the most stout defense that Georgia has faced all season. Yes, Auburn was stout, but Auburn was more speed than size on defense. Auburn's defensive line is fast. Their linebackers are fast. They're great tacklers in space. It's hard to run the ball on Auburn, and that is the one team. The team that kind of mirrors Texas defense to me is Auburn. And remember, we weren't able to rush for over 100 yards on the ground on them. We rushed for right 80, I think 81, 82 we had on the ground against Auburn. So Texas defense, like I said, they're stout. Simmons, Anthony Hill, those guys are legit. They're first rounders. Those guys will be playing on Sundays. They are elite and they are a problem. And that's a problem that Bobo is going to have to solve. Now, let's just say if Bobo is not able to solve the problem, what you're about to listen to is something that I've been warning Georgia fans about. I've been warning them about this situation all season. Ever since the Bama loss, I've said it time and time again. We have to run the table. We have to be perfect from here on out. We have no margin for error. We have to win. The only lock, all of this talk about what Georgia's a lock at 10-2. No, we're not. No, we're not. The only lock would be 11-1 for Georgia. Possible trip to Atlanta, barring what happens to Bama. I don't see a scenario where Oklahoma can go into Bryant-Denny and beat this Bama team. Because it's in a revenge game. And the Bama that I know, the Bama that I've been watching for years, they don't lose revenge games. You beat them, and the following year, they normally beat you. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, that's Nick Saban. That was under Nick Saban. Can DeBoer do that? And as like I said, we're going to find out a lot about this Bama team on Saturday. But the worst case scenario, what would really hurt Georgia's playoff chances is if Bama loses to Oklahoma, and then Georgia later on that night turn around and lose to Texas. By the time we take the field, by the time the Dogs take the field on Saturday night, we will know, we will have an idea of how important this game is going to be. Now, if Bama beats Oklahoma, that gives Georgia a little breathing room. That eliminates Oklahoma. Still have Vandy to worry about. Still got Vandy to worry about. But if Bama takes care of business against Oklahoma, then I can see a pathway where Georgia could go 10-2 and still make the playoffs. But you don't want to bank on that. Definitely if Bama loses to Oklahoma. So I want you all to just listen to something here because, I did a video about this on Monday. And I got a little backlash from Georgia fans. Like, oh, Amondo, you don't know what you're talking about. Georgia can go 10-2 and still make the playoffs. Yeah, look, if you don't want to believe me, just believe some analysts. Fair use.
Very clear to everybody listening that this is based on the result of this week, not the rest of the season.
Right, yeah.
So that is if Texas ends up beating Georgia, Alabama loses to Oklahoma, and am I missing any other chaos?
That's all we got on there.
That's the chaos that we would have, right? So keep that in mind. This is what we came up with if that is to happen.
Do you see that bracket? Do you see that bracket? Do you see this bracket? No Georgia. Bama would drop and probably go travel and play Texas. And Oklahoma would replace Georgia. Georgia would be the first team out. This is a scenario, everyone. This is where you're going to put them. Because it will come down between Notre Dame and Georgia. Exactly what I said. It will come down between Notre Dame and Georgia. Let's continue.
But still, somehow in the chaos bracket, Miami still made it.
We have right now, still the highest ACC ranked team.
So the biggest question that we're posing to you guys in the chat here as well is how far do those two teams drop were they to lose? So,
and how far does Texas go up?
Right. So we're assuming that Georgia's going to drop all the way down from 5 to first team out with a loss at 2 losses.
Did you all hear that? Now, don't sit there and say, well, that's impossible. That could never happen. Remember 2023? They dropped us 6 spots. 6 spots. in the polls. They dropped us 6 spots in the polls. We went into the SEC championship game ranked number 1. And when we lost to Bama, they dropped us from number 1 to number 6 on selection day. Overnight, we went from being ranked number 1 to number 6. Nothing is guaranteed. A 10-2, now a loss to Texas and beating Georgia Tech would hurt. Now, if Georgia beats Texas, lose to Georgia Tech, then we're having a different conversation. Because Georgia will have the tiebreaker over Oklahoma. Let's continue.
That pains Maddie.
So
Why does that pain?
Now we're
so
telling you
because who did they lose to?
Alabama and Texas.
You know, and like that's where it's just like, all right, they lost to 2 of the better teams in the country, and
they're win over the current number 5 in this chaos.
Right. That's where I was like, man, it's just hard for me to see a team.
Salute to you, Fleur boy. Salute to you, Fleur boy. Salute to you, brother. Fair use.
Team like that's been so good for the entire season.
But where would you put them, right? So they're at 5, and then you would have 2 losses. So right now, Ole Miss would jump
Well, I
up
can't
because
really
they have
say
one
where I would
loss.
put them because then I would be too much of
To SEC bias.
Yeah, for sure.
But
for
like
sure.
you can't put a 2-loss team ahead of a 1-loss team, right?
Sure, I can. Yeah.
where would
But I
you
mean,
put
is it logical? No.
Because Texas beat them, right?
That's it. You can't put a 2-loss team in front of a 1-loss team. So where are you going to put them at? Where are you going to put them at? They beat Texas. I'm sorry, Texas beat them. Bama beat them. Oregon would be 11-1. This is basically saying that if Oregon runs the table and finishes at 11-1, even though we beat Ole Miss is 11-1. South Florida's a group of 5. Their slot is locked in. So where are you going to put them at? It's going to come down between Georgia and Notre Dame. And I'm telling you all, that is not what you want. That's not what you want. It really is not. That would not be good at all. That would not be a good situation. Let's continue.
Right, Miami's in the ACC, highest ACC ranked team, so that's the reason why they would be there as a 2-loss team. Oklahoma, they end up beating Alabama, so you got to go in there, right? Alabama drops to 10 after their loss to Oklahoma. Texas jumps to 7, and then at that point, and unless you're more so inclined to kick out Notre Dame, how about that?
Ooh, again.
Because that
and that ain't gonna happen, ladies and gentlemen. That is not gonna happen. Remember 2018. Remember 2018. We had a much stronger strength of a record than Oklahoma. We lost to a top 10 LSU team and the number 1 ranked Bama team in the SEC championship game. Everybody else on our schedule, we beat, destroyed by at least 10, maybe 15 points. And that committee still screwed us over. Because it came down between Georgia and Oklahoma. Don't think for 1 minute that this committee would not screw us over again. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, and they don't want to hear the worst case scenario, but there's always a worst case scenario that you have to consider. And there's a reason why I'm speaking on this because a lot of other dogcasters, they won't mention this. They won't talk about this possibility. Because there are a lot of people picking Oklahoma to beat Bama. And there are some people that are picking Texas to beat Georgia. That could very well happen. And that would knock Georgia right out of the playoffs. Let's continue.
That's a two-loss team.
Yes.
Don't get this guy started on Notre Dame.
I just want
Salute to you, Russell Red.
to remind everybody, this is not the current bracket. This is what would be producer's chaos
We're just
bracket.
having fun.
We're thinking, Brian, we're having fun.
If the chaos happens this week,
weekend. I want to ask the question. This is more of a philosophical question.
Before I go.
At what point does head-to-head start to go down a little bit on the rung as we start to see some more data points? We start to play some more games. Like, is it the end-all, be-all? Is it always going to be that way? Like, we're so far on the season, we've gotten some more data, right?
That right there, what you said.
And we've seen situations where head-to-head didn't mean a damn thing either. Because if head-to-head really meant something, Miami would be in front of Notre Dame. So their logic is null and void in my book. Miami has 2 losses. Notre Dame has 2 losses. Miami has a win, a head-to-head win over Notre Dame, but who's ranked higher? Who's ranked higher? So do you really want to bank on the fact that the committee values head-to-head? Look at this. Look at this is the latest top 25 college football playoff poll. Miami has a victory over Notre Dame. But Notre Dame is sitting at number 9. They have the same amount of losses. Notre Dame has 2 losses and Miami has 2 losses. But Miami has a head-to-head victory over Notre Dame. So that head-to-head crap, I don't trust that either. Let's continue.
So far out into the season, I think head-to-head matters more now than it did earlier on in the season because you already heard
matters
the
more
committee
now.
check. Yes, it matters more now than it did earlier because if you lost early on in the season, you were a different football team.
Head-to-head does not matter now, brother. It don't. It does not matter. I can't recognize who this brother is. I know he played football. He played some college football. I know the other guy, the tall guy, is Chris Sims. But this committee does not value head-to-head. There's no way that anyone with a straight face can say that this committee values head-to-head. Well, you clearly have Notre Dame at number 9 and Miami at number 15. Both with 2 losses, but Miami has a head-to-head victory over Notre Dame. See, shit like this is why I don't trust this committee. I don't trust this committee. Salute to you, G Bama boy. Salute to you, brother. I don't trust this committee because there's no way you can justify putting Notre Dame in front of Miami where they both have the same amount of losses. They play head-to-head. And Miami beat them decisively. Led the entire game. They never trailed Notre Dame. It was a convincing win. True enough, Notre Dame got a few garbage points at the end of the game. But Miami dominated that game from start to finish. But this committee still has Notre Dame in front of Miami. And you wonder why I say all the time, I don't trust this committee. I do not trust this committee. Let's continue.
Team, right? We know Alabama
Berries.
isn't the same team that lost to Florida State. If they run it back today, is that going to look the same way that it did?
Probably
right?
not.
Yeah, probably not.
So
Yeah.
I think you improve as the season goes along, and head-to-head starts to matter now
Right.
a little bit more. But we're about to say goodbye. One thing on our chaos bracket that we would have here, if let's say this is what I've suggested.
If Notre Dame lost?
Yeah. If Notre Dame would, if Georgia loses to Texas, Georgia goes back to 9. So we don't keep.
That ain't gonna happen. I don't trust that to happen. I don't trust that to happen. It should happen. Common sense logic, common sense thinking. The right thing would be to put Georgia in over Notre Dame based on strength of record alone. Georgia has beaten hell of a better opponents than Notre Dame. Ole Miss is one. Salute to you, Bacardi. A lot of people are praying for an upset. A lot of people are praying for an upset, Bacardi. A lot of people are praying for that. Bacardi says, salute, Mondo. And the chat, I'm hoping for an upset in Pittsburgh this weekend and them Dogs to end Texas season. I don't trust the committee either. I don't trust them. Now, I'm going to tell you two things. Two things could clinch it for Georgia without Georgia even beating Texas. Pitt beating Notre Dame is one, and Bama beating Oklahoma. Bama beating Oklahoma is very important because that eliminates Oklahoma. That eliminates Oklahoma. Georgia beating Texas eliminates Texas. Fans in the Big 12, you got a lot of fans in the Big 12 and a lot of fans in the ACC that are rooting like hell for Bama and Georgia to take care of business on Saturday. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a big Bama hater. I can't stand Bama. I normally root for Bama's opponents. But this is one Saturday. This is one Saturday that I'm going to be rooting like hell for Bama to take care of business against Oklahoma because that will help us. That will help Georgia a lot. Bama take care of business against Oklahoma. But I'm very confident that my Dogs can take care of business Saturday night. And it's not just about a football game and about the playoffs. It's about 2 day ones from the SEC. 2 day ones. 2 original blue bloods in the SEC taking care of business against 2 outsiders, in my opinion. Oklahoma and Texas, yeah, they're SEC schools right now. Yeah. They're SEC schools right now. But in my opinion, they're still, to me, they're outsiders. Because growing up as a kid, I remember them being in the Southwest Conference. And then, the Southwest Conference and the Big 8 merging and becoming the Big 12. When I think about Texas and I think about Oklahoma, I think about Western states. I don't think about the South. When I think about the South, I think about everything from Kentucky down to Florida, everything from the Savannah coast to Louisiana. That's what I think about when I think about the South. I don't think about Texas or Oklahoma. To me, they are Western states. That is why I'm going to be rooting like hell for Bama to take care of business against Oklahoma, the other outsider, while we take care of business later on that night against the Texas Longhorns. 2 Big 12 teams posing as SEC schools don't sit right with me at all. But this committee won't hesitate to try to screw Georgia over. You think they won't? Remember, they screwed Bama last year. They screwed Bama last year. They didn't give a damn, even though Bama had a gauntlet of a schedule last year. What did they do at the end? They screwed Bama over and put SMU in the damn playoffs, knowing damn well they didn't have no business in no damn playoff game. They played Penn State, and hell, that game was over with before the anthems quit playing. Penn State had jumped out to a big-ass lead midway through the first quarter. That game was already over with. You think that the committee would have learned their lesson? For the recent blowouts that we've had in the playoffs, even before they went to 12. Remember what we did to TCU? Now, as a Georgia fan, hell, I was good with it. TCU getting in. But if you want to be honest about it, honestly, TCU didn't have no business in the playoffs that year. They didn't have no business in there. Bama was more deserving that year and should have been in there over TCU. But hey, I regress. Let's continue. Fair use.
Them out, like you said, Notre Dame is a two-loss team that ends up being pushed backwards because right now Georgia's resume is better than what Notre Dame's is.
Wow.
But Alabama,
right?
You were upsetting a lot of people.
Can we compare them real quick before we get out of here? Resume.
But it doesn't mean nothing. They don't give a damn about resume. They didn't give a damn about resume in 2018. So what makes any of us believe that they would give a damn about resume in 2025? They didn't give a damn about resume in 2023. Hell, we was on a 30-some game winning streak in 2023, lost by a field goal, and they dropped us down 6 spots overnight. It wasn't like a 2-3 day thing. Overnight. Because we lost that Saturday night, and that Sunday at 12 noon, they dropped us 6 spots. Keep that in mind. But let's continue watching this. Fair use.
Yeah.
How do we get to Notre Dame, Sam? Okay.
Yep.
There you go.
Okay, Notre Dame here. All right. So this is what they're currently looking like. Strength of schedule overall 41st. Strength of schedule remaining 66.
This is making your point for you right here, Matty.
I rest my case. Thank you,
Right?
Scooby.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, but this is what it comes down to, right? For Notre Dame, it's just the fact that, like, 2 of the best games that they played this year, they came out on the losing end of it.
4
And
points.
Yep, 4. I don't care.
And that's another thing. That's another thing that no one is addressing. That's another thing that no one is addressing. The fact that Notre Dame's 2 toughest opponents, they lost to. They lost to the toughest opponent on their schedule. The 2 toughest opponents, the 2 biggest tests on their schedule, they lost. Texas A&M and Miami. Now they got a test coming up this week. Oh, they got a test coming up this weekend. They got to go to Heinz Field and play those Pitt Panthers. And that's not going to be easy. That's going to be a test. We're going to find out what this Notre Dame team is made of, because they failed the first 2 tests in my book. I don't consider that Navy game a test or any other game, Arkansas's, any other game that they played on their schedule. The 2 tests that was put in front of them, in my book, they failed. Miami, the season opener, and then Texas A&M. They failed both of those tests. Now let's see what they do Saturday against Pitt. Pitt is ranked. Pitt is ranked. Pitt is ranked. So this will add to Notre Dame's resume. This will only add to their resume. But the last thing you want to do is be scoreboard watching after this Saturday. We don't want to be in a situation where we're scoreboard watching. Scoreboard watching Vanderbilt and Tennessee. Scoreboard watching Oklahoma and LSU. Scoreboard watching Texas and Arkansas. Texas and Texas A&M. Scoreboard watching Ole Miss and the Egg Bowl. That's the situation that we would be in. We would be scoreboard watching. Well, we could just go out there Saturday, control our own destiny, and take care of business and beat Texas. This live right here, basically, is my way of telling every Dawgs fan. Now, we got like 40 watching. A lot of you are at work. Some of you are on your way to work. But a lot of you are at work and you're not able to type. But listen, some of you are ghost watching. Listen to me real good. This game Saturday night is the most important game in Sanford Stadium history. Let me say it again. This game Saturday night is the most important game in Sanford Stadium history. Never has it ever been another game with so much on the line as this one. You got two teams, one that could be eliminated and the other one that could clinch. I really feel a win for Georgia Saturday night clinches a playoff spot. And now I know a lot of people said that the Bama-Georgia game in Sanford Stadium back in September was the most, it was big, it was huge. But this game right here, it has a lot riding on this. Our season may be riding on a victory. I'm not saying that if we lose to Texas, we're eliminated. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, according to what these gentlemen just put up on the board in the video that I just showed you, I'm saying that Georgia would need a lot of help. If we lose to Texas and if Bama loses to Oklahoma, which could happen, which could very well happen. Remember, Brent Venables, for some reason, has had Bama's number. Even going back to his Clemson days, he's had Bama's number. So don't think it's impossible for that scenario not playing out. I say this to my dog fans. When you walk in that stadium Saturday night, you got to be loud. You got to be loud. Bark, scream, yell, do whatever the hell you got to do to make noise. Because this team is going to need that home field advantage. If it's ever been a time, and I know I've seen this place crazy, I've seen this place lit, I will never forget the 2019 Notre Dame game. I will never forget the 2021 Arkansas game. I will never forget the 2022 Tennessee game. I will never forget last year's game when Tennessee came into Sanford Stadium at night. This game right here, Georgia fans need to bring it like they've never brought it before. What we did in those games that I just named, especially that 2022 Tennessee game, it needs to be times 3 on Saturday night. And I know that our fans have it in them to turn up the volume in Sanford Stadium Saturday night. Because this team has come too far to be put down by an outsider. A team, a Big 12 team posing as an SEC school. That's Texas. So everyone, I want to thank you all for coming out. Listen, some people may not understand, some people may not accept the truth, but the truth is, there is a possibility that if Georgia is 10-2 and that next loss is to Texas, and Bama doesn't take care of business against Oklahoma, you just saw what that committee would do. Because they're hell-bent on putting Notre Dame in. And they don't give a damn about strength of record, and they don't give a damn about head-to-head. I just broke it down to you. You all tell me what you think. Leave a comment in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think Georgia can afford to lose this game? Beat Georgia Tech and be locked? Do you believe Georgia could be locked in, even if they lose this game to Texas? I don't think so. Leave a comment in the comment section. Make sure you all hit that like button on your way out. I want to thank all of you for coming out. Now, I know this is an odd time that I go live. I may start back going live in the evening time, so you all can, I know how it is when you're at work and, you can listen, but you can't really type. You can't really participate. So everyone, thank you all for coming out. I know a lot of you are ghost watching and listening in. Just listen and take heed to what I'm saying. And it ain't just me. It ain't just me. You just saw. These are experts. Expert analysts broke it down. And the question they had was, where are you going to put them if that happens? The right thing would be to drop Notre Dame and put Georgia in there. But we all know this committee don't give a damn about what's right. They don't give a damn about common sense. All they care about is this and the brand, the big brand. And remember, Notre Dame is a very popular brand globally. A lot of people in Ireland and in England and across the pond, they watch college football, but they're watching Notre Dame. There's a reason why Notre Dame has their own contract, TV contract with NBC. Just keep that in mind. But of course, on the other hand, I know that committee would be very, very tempted to match up Georgia and Oklahoma rematch in the playoffs. Because the last time they met in the playoffs was a classic, an instant classic. Everyone hit that like button. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Make sure you all drive safe, stay out of trouble. And for those of you that are at work, hey, don't let them work you too hard. Don't let them work you too hard. So I may be back on here Friday evening. Everyone, thank you all for coming out. Peace and blessings to you. Hey, I just like to give you both sides. I don't give you a feel-good story. I'm not going to give you a feel-good story over here, and I'm not going to sell you any pipe dreams. and any lofty ideas that Georgia could lose to Texas, Bama lose to Oklahoma, and Georgia's still good, still walking in the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not a Debbie Downer dog, and I'm damn sure not a Disney dog. I'm just gonna tell it like it is over here. When you come to the dog call, you getting it real, uncut, and raw. That's what you're gonna get over here. So everyone, peace and blessings to you. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Hey, and like I always say, no matter what, win, lose, draw, tie, rain delay, whatever you want to call it, it's gonna always be go Dogs. Sick 'em. Woo, 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 woo. Dogs, let's take care of business. Let's take care of business.
To go top. So bring on Florida, bring on Bama, and bring on Texas too. We stay true, the Dogs